Welcome to my channel. In this video, you will see a terrifying true story. Let's start with the story. In the small town of Ravenswood, nestled between towering pine trees and mist-covered hills, there stood an old Victorian house that locals whispered about in hushed tones. It was said to be haunted, its halls echoing with the footsteps of those long gone. Despite the warnings, Sarah, a young artist seeking solitude and inspiration, decided to rent the house for the summer. As Sarah settled into her new home, she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows danced in the corners of her vision, disappearing whenever she turned to look. Brushing it off as her imagination, she focused on her paintings, losing herself in swirls of color and emotion. One night, as she worked late into the evening, a chill crept through the house, causing her to shiver despite the warmth of her studio. Glancing up, she caught a glimpse of something in the mirror across the room, a dark figure standing just beyond the reflection of her canvas. Heart pounding, Sarah turned around, but the room was empty. Dismissing it as a trick of the light, she returned to her work, the sensation of being watched growing stronger with each passing moment. As days turned into weeks, Sarah's unease only intensified. Whispers echoed through the house at night, faint and indistinct, yet unmistakably human. She tried to convince herself it was just the old house settling, but deep down, she knew something was wrong. One evening, while cleaning the attic, Sarah stumbled upon a dusty old journal hidden beneath a pile of forgotten belongings. Its pages were filled with the ramblings of a previous tenant, detailing encounters with a malevolent presence lurking within the house. According to the journal, the entity was a shadow, a manifestation of all the fear and suffering that had permeated the walls over the years. It fed on the despair of the living, growing stronger with each passing day. Terrified, Sarah knew she had to leave, but something held her back. She couldn't abandon her art, her sanctuary, despite the growing dread that consumed her every waking moment. That night, as she lay in bed, the whispers returned, louder and more insistent than ever before. Unable to bear it any longer, Sarah fled to her studio, seeking refuge amidst her paintings. But the shadows were waiting for her there, swirling and coalescing into a sinister form that loomed over her like a dark cloud. Frozen in terror, Sarah watched as the figure reached out a hand that mirrored her own in every detail. With a sickening realization, Sarah understood, the shadow was not separate from her, but a part of her, born from the depths of her own fear and loneliness. Desperate to escape, she tore her gaze away from the mirror, only to find herself face to face with her doppelganger, its eyes empty voids devoid of humanity. In that moment, Sarah knew she had to confront her fears or be consumed by them. Summoning all her courage, she reached out and touched the mirror, the glass cool beneath her fingertips. As she did, the shadow recoiled, its form flickering and fading until it vanished entirely, leaving Sarah alone in the darkness. In the days that followed, Sarah made peace with the shadow within, embracing it as a part of herself rather than a source of fear. With newfound clarity, she poured her emotions onto the canvas, creating art that spoke to the depths of her soul. And though the whispers never truly ceased, Sarah learned to live with them, drawing strength from the knowledge that she had faced her demons and emerged stronger for it. As she packed her belongings and prepared to leave Ravenswood behind, Sarah couldn't help but glance back at the old Victorian house one last time, wondering what other secrets lay hidden within its walls, waiting to be discovered by the next unsuspecting soul. This is our story today. If you liked the story, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. We will meet tomorrow, God willing, in a new story.